Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Alright. And what I want to get into with this lesson is a lesson I've been meditating on in the spirit, about falling in love, with our lot, because we all, have things, that we love to do. That's a phrase. I love to do this, I love to do that. And a beautiful thing about this truth, as we grow and mature and, we really, tap into Yahweh Shah, we really start becoming in this thing, we begin to really fall in love, with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. We begin to fall in love with righteousness, man. We begin to fall in love with the ministry, man. Not for the likes, not for clout, not for attention, not for filthy lucre, for the money's sake. And see, you really can tell someone loves something if they would do it for free. When someone would do it for free, hell, to pay to do it. We used to love, like you probably used to love to go out to the club, okay? Love, clothes, outfits, and traveling, and you love it because you'll pay to do it. The things that you love, you'll pay to do it. And in the truth, it requires, it does require some resources. you at least got to have the internet. You at least, all right, certain programs you got to pay for, for the live stream, particular things. It's some investment to go into it, to an extent. Every brother is different, but brothers pour into it. And one thing that all brothers have to put into is their time. Okay, they have to put in their time. They have to sacrifice their time. You see, attention. The truth requires attention. You see, and the things that someone loves to do, all right, they don't mind putting resources, time, and attention towards it. Okay, that's why when you go here, let's get this. Like I used to love sports. Can sit watch sports all day. Play sports all day. You see, those things that I love doing. I still participate in sports. But at the same time, the love that I have for the truth outweighs everything that I once loved. And certain things that I love I become dead to, and replace the truth with that. Replace that energy and those resources spent towards that activity or that, pastime, and put it into the truth, man. All spare attention and, resources and spare things, man, I try to put into the truth, man. Cause the payoff, man, and then it's for righteousness' sake, man. Look what the Lord did for us, man. How can we pay the Lord back but show appreciation, man? With the things that He's given us, how can we not, put the things that He's given us, the gifts, the talents that He's given us, and invest it back into this ministry, man? Be a service unto Him. It's certain waiters, you see, they love their job. Waitresses, they love their job, man. Bartenders, certain people, they love what they do. The little craft that they do, they love it, man. How can we not love what we do? Okay? Now, of course, every day ain't the same, and there's certain days where discipline got to kick in, man. Because you don't feel like doing, particular things every day, man. There's particular things you don't feel like doing concerning the ministry, then some discipline kick in. Okay? But then, man, you get to the point to where it's like, man, because even reading, man, I love to read. There's times where I fell off from reading. And I'm saying these things, I done fell off from all particular aspects of the truth at certain points. And then, I had to get a spiritual foot in the ass, man. Okay? And that's what you get when you read this here. So lucky for the rant. But that's what you get when you get this here, Revelation 2 and 3. It says, I started at 2. It says, I know thy works and thy labor. And this is talking to the church of Ephesus. This is Yahweh Shai speaking, all right, to the church of Ephesus. It says, I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them, all right, which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne and hast patience for my name's sake, labor and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Okay? So he was commending them for the things that, they was doing well in. You see? But guess what? Because you'll look at them and be like, damn. Because you'll look at he's giving all these compliments. But then he has, wait, y'all fell from y'all first love. Why? Because Yahweh Shai understands, okay, the office he gave the church of Ephesus. That they ain't putting out according to the gifts that he gave to that church. You see? And the Lord looks at us. We can seem like we on point on the surface, but the Lord knows what we're capable of in the spirit, man. You see? He knows when we're just going through the motion, because someone going through the motion can look like they're on fire to someone else, man. Okay? And not just in doing lessons, man. All right? Because you can do a quantity of lesson, but it's a quality improvement. Okay? We can be, repetitious at camp all the time. Okay? But are we elevate at camp? Okay? Are we elevating our understanding? Are we maturing in our perspective? Okay? Are we really into this thing? Are we coming to camp just to check it off the list? Or do we become excited again about coming to camp? 'Cause I know it's late, man. I've been excited, to go to camp. Seeing younger brothers, grow into themselves, man, be mature. With the, then just being around the brothers, man. Same men that's been here for over a decade, man. Which is a short time compared, to apostles and elders, man. But being with those men and growing in that camaraderie in Yahweh Shai, man. And being around those men. And that goes to appreciating the little things, man. Because we can be, you can get to the point to where you can go through the motions and take things for granted. Nah, man. Appreciate the little things, man. Appreciate the fellowship out the camp with brothers, man. Whenever, it's permitted to happen. Okay? Appreciate building with brothers, man. Loving the conversations, the off-camera conversations, man. That's why I love meeting new brothers, man, because I know it's going to be a brand new perspective that's going to stimulate my spirit, man. That brother going to, bring something, a perspective that I've never heard, man. It's going to stimulate my spirit, man. Really loving this thing, man. Loving being a part of this brotherhood, man. I say teaching is just one aspect, man. But really falling in love, with the truth, with this ministry, with the brotherhood, with Yahweh Bashim Shai. Fall in love with the prophecy that's happening, what the Lord's getting ready to do, man. You see? And it says, Revelation 2 and 5, it says, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent, man. Hey, it says remember thy first works, because the zeal that we had when we first came in, it was, how we just come in with that zeal. Like I say, when we first come in, you ready to go to camp. Especially you cross over, even when we just listening on the other side, man, you ready to go to camp. Excited about camp day, man. Then you cross over, put that garment on, man. It's like, man, you see, it's like you like a little child. Okay, and so we're able to do a lesson. We're finally able to. We mature to the point we can do a lesson by ourselves. It's like, man, you want to do a lesson on everything. Like, boom, everything you see, like, oh, of course you learn balance, but then that fervency. How Shai, he liked that fervency, man. And I like and get them over complacency and repetition. So, because repetition is good, but then repetition, has to be examined to make sure it's not creating complacency. Speaking to myself first and foremost. But when you keep reading, it says, verse 6, but this thou hast, it says, but this thou hast that I hatest, no, Salaki. I think that was the point on that. I want to get this. Okay, let's go from there. And let's get this in Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. All right. This is the book of Matthew chapter 6. And verse 21, it said, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You know, going back to the point, whatever we treasure, okay, that's where our attention, okay, and our time is going to be. You know, that's why our attention, that's why our focus is going to be. That's what's going to be prioritized in our mind, what we treasure. Okay, you can tell what someone treasures by their attention, okay, and their time. Okay, because you can give money, you know, because you can have excess money. You can give money into something that you're really not into like that. You know, you can have a little extra money and give money into things that you're really not into like that. Okay, but one thing that don't lie is time and attention. You know, what we really into is going to show through our time and attention, man. All right, so we treasure this truth, man. Hey, we're going to spend time with it. Hey, it's going to have our attention. Okay, you don't have to force no one to do something that they love. Okay, someone is doing something they love. Hey, they're gonna be there when you get there. They're gonna be there when you leave. Okay, because they love it. You see, this is an obsession for it, man. Okay, and this is, you know, how Shah wants us to be, man. He wants us to be obsessed with this thing. We should be obsessed with this thing, man. This is righteousness. This is forever we talking about, man. Okay, it's not a light thing that the Lord has allowed us, you know, to be a part of, man. This is a heavy thing, man. You know, this is a heavy office that the Lord, and every brother has a heavy office, man. Okay, brothers got different talents, different portions, you know, different measures of faith, man. But they're all right. You know, they're all needed. Okay, for the mission, man. You gotta understand, brother. We're needed for the mission, man. You know, the views don't matter, the attention don't matter, you know, being popular don't matter, man. Every brother is needed because remember there's things done off camera. Okay, that are not recorded. You know, good work. Every good work is not recorded. Okay, a brother's value doesn't start and stop with the record button. Okay, that's a part of it. And we should be consistent in that. We should be growing in that, man. Okay, but our value don't stop and end with the video, man. You see, brother's value transcend, you know, doing a lesson. But it comes with being what? Tapped in. You know, loving what we do. You see? So let's go from there. Let's get this real quick. In the book of Psalms. Alright, it's the book of Psalms 40 and 7. It says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me, and it's Yahushua. Verse 8, I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yeah, the law is within my heart. You know, I delight to do thy will. You know, and it's to the point to where it becomes a delight to do the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. So it's a delight now. You know, it's something to look forward to, man. And then the Lord dealing, the Lord showed that He dealing, man. The Lord constantly giving increase, man. And the Lord constantly having prophecy pop off, man. That's the Lord showing, like, look, keep going. Prophecy is the Lord telling all us, look, keep going. We getting there, y'all there, and keep going. You see, and we got to love what we're becoming. We got to love the things promised to us in the scriptures, man. You know, excited about how Shah getting ready to establish the throne of David in the earth and righteousness forever, man. You know? So yeah, man, we gotta fall in love with our lot, man. That's the greatest thing we can fall in love with is our lot, man. So Lord will you, brothers. Alright, and you few sisters are edified till next time I say Shalom. Kwam Yashala, Abba soon. Shalom.